Hey guys, so I used to do these ages ago, and along with all the lovely threats that I got, like I had an 80 carry Ari in my game, I hate you, I'm gonna dislike all of your videos now. There were also a lot of good comments having a bit more fun with League than the standard meta we're always seeing. Now anyway, don't be that guy, do not try this first time in ranked. It's a bit of fun, but I'm picking ones that are actually legit and can get you to diamond or have got people to diamond. Let me know if you have any others for me to try in the comments if you enjoy these kind of fun videos. It's kind of one of the things I love actually about these, like you keep giving me more ideas in the comments, but you can also try the ones that I talk about, then scroll down through the comments, see loads of other stuff to try from you guys as well. But enough rambling, let's jump into the legendary AP tier attack speed Lux. So attack speed Lux is a weird concept, but this is actually Power of Evil's build, the mid player for Misfits. I honestly have so much respect for this guy trying out weird stuff all the time, but the thing is, like, he's actually really smart about it. The build is tier upgraded to Archangel Staff, Nash's Tooth, so the attack speed part, Medjai's Death Cap, and Void Staff. I already know people in the comments are going to be like, but listen here, Fi, you're an idiot. You'll do no damage with this build. You have no AP. People will ruin my games with this build. Now, the thing is, like, a normal build, okay, is like pretty standard. Morello, Ludens, Void, Deathcap, Zhonya's, right? That's normally what Lux is going to build, and that is 675 AP late game. This build is going to be 650 AP with 0 Medjai's stacks. So if you have the item, but you haven't got any stacks on it. If you have it fully stacked, is 810 AP. So it's actually more AP than a standard build. A lot of you are going to say that's not a fair comparison because Medjai's gives you loads. So okay, we take the Medjai's out and we put a Zhonya's instead, and you actually have 709 AP with that. So with the Medjai's and with a few stacks, you can actually have a lot more AP, but even just with a standard item instead of that Medjai's, you're still going to have more AP than a normal build. The only real damage you lose is the Ludens proc off your combo really when you're trying to burst somebody, but you do get an extra massive shield from Archangels, cooldown reduction from Nash's, attack speed from the same item to proc your passive easier, even some extra on hit damage from each auto attack, which is kind of like 40 plus each hit. Now I admit that when I play Lux, I play like a pussy in the back, I poke. I don't really like weave my autos, but that is something we should be doing more, and this kind of unlocks that next level of damage. It's less punishing as a playstyle as well as a build because you have more cooldown reduction in the build, which means you have more spells. If you miss, you can actually auto attack and you're still going to do more damage. Your spells actually have more AP behind them, as we said, so they're going to do more damage, plus you can actually use them more often as well. It's one of the biggest problems on Lux normally, like you have high cooldowns on this normal build, right? So if you mess up and you miss, you can't really do anything. So that's actually like a really big issue with why people don't play her as much now. The other thing is if they have like a Guardian Angel or a Zhonya's or something and they manage to survive your burst combo, then you don't really have that much left. This build is not reliant on ultimate burst damage that much at all actually. If you miss, you're not just going to lose. Now, it might feel a bit weaker earlier into this game. You've kind of got a tier, right? Not really much AP, but mid game, it looks like it's actually kind of stronger weirdly. You probably wouldn't expect the amount of damage you do, that's for sure, and you're probably not going to expect how much easier it is to play with less mana problems. You can spam your spells a lot more. You're also less reliant on your skill shots, so in some ways, for a newer Lux player, it can be more forgiving. This is one build that is really weird. It's pretty off meta, but it does fix a lot of her issues actually, as long as like you're using your passive properly. I kind of feel like it's something we're going to get flamed for playing, but more shields, more snares, more AoE damage, more AP, more passive damage from more auto attacks, lower flash cooldown, and a big shield to stay safe. That seems like a pretty solid idea to me. Okay, AP cho'gath is the second one for this video. It's been around for ages, but it's actually a lot better than people think it is, even now this season. You have crazy AP ratios, you have insane damage, and this was originally actually a counter to Katarina when she came in and was really strong, but it moved into just kind of like a fun burst champion. The guy we're looking at for this one specifically is a Korean dude, of course, who has a 75% win rate over 200 games played in Diamond 2 right now, so it's actually pretty good. Now, one of the reasons this actually works is because cho'gath is supposed to be a tank. Sounds really weird, right? But it actually makes sense. These tanks are designed to have high base damages from ability levels and stuff, or they'll be ignored and they'll be useless, which is kind of why Riot gives them damage in the first place. The reason cho'gath can kind of abuse that design mechanic is because his ultimate gives him a lot of health for free anyway, so we don't actually have to build tank to be a tank. That makes sense. We can get away with being full AP and not die, and also being melee doesn't hurt as much. Looking at his spells, like 100% AP ratio on his Q, right? 70% on his W, 30% per hit on his E, and 50% on his ultimate, but you also have like the 10% bonus health ratio as well. To compare to Orianna, her Q is 50%, her W is 70%, E 30%, and ultimate is 70%. So cho'gath actually has better AP ratios than Orianna. The other side of this though is the base damage. So what, like without any spells or anything, just from your ranks in your abilities, how much they actually do. And it's all AoE damage as well, so it's hitting multiple people. Your Q is 300, your W 275, your ultimate is 650. Now with 200 200 AP, which is really not that much. You'll have a 500 damage Q, a 400 damage W, and a 750 damage ultimate. And remember that ultimate is true damage, so it doesn't get reduced. That's pretty insane damage-wise, and that is why it works so well. Like, one QWR combo, like, is a dead mid laner easily. Then you've got to remember, you have a knock-up plus a silence and a slow in that kit as well. Add in at least like 1,000 free health to that, and you're a walking burst machine and a complete noob stomper. If you fancy giving this a try, then I will link this guy's op.gg below to check it out. But Doran's and Dark Seal for regen to start with, boost of swiftness to get in range of people, Proto Belt to shoot forward for the epic nom, it's actually a lot of damage as well, Ludens for burst games where they're kind of squishy, Morello for more cooldown reduction if they're going to have longer fights, Medjai's when you get some kills, you upgrade that Dark Seal, then Death Cap and Void to top it off with maybe a Zhonya's and a Banshee's endgame. The funny thing is with this, that it's actually pretty good at stomping people. When you get ahead, you get tanky from your ultimate and you get damage from your items, so you're harder to kill, but you're harder to survive because you have more damage as well. You have this awesome kill potential and burst damage which people do not expect. Like, you have this element of surprise on your side because you are kind of an off-meta pick. You have a really good wave clear, and farming CS is super easy, so if you suck with that, suck at last hitting, pick cho'gath, press W, and everything dies. The other side, which makes him so easy, is the sustain. Like, it's so good from your passive. You don't have to worry about trading properly. They can hit you, and you're literally going to heal it back up over and over. It's so good. You have this poke from your W as well, which can't be returned because the silence is a very easy way to trade and push at the same time. The main issue and why it's not mainstream, why you might not want to play it, is how close you need to get to do damage, and if you miss your Q, you can't really just run at somebody to get a nom off. If you hit the QW combo in fights, it is devastating, but you have long cooldowns, and it's like how punishing it is when you miss definitely really hurts. Now I'm going to keep this video pretty short and sweet, but go and have some fun with these two picks. Remember to leave any suggestions you have for me as well if you want me to try something out for next episode. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all tomorrow, but for now, I will leave you with the robots.